Thank you all for coming. I'm not going to put this out, am I now? I'm doing things like this, you know.
Nothing electrical.
I see the loonies are here in force. Harry Corris, see the loony in the blue shirt, always says to me, how you have made it to 50, I will never know. And I know what he means because I've got an habit of doing a lot of things wrong. Mum and Dad have put up with me most of the time, and they need a medal. My brother's also known me a while, and I remember putting his contact lenses in my eyes.
Jed, what's over there?
And he were at home wondering what were up with his sight, weren't you? A couple of old friends there, Stuart and Gary, we go playing snooker every week. At this particular time, we decided to try out every pub in Rochdale. This particular night, we went to the Spread Eagle. And we'd just been issued with red and blue Kensal Court. Pete Chappell still sleeps in his, don't he? Last orders came, drunk up, walked home, put my hand in my pocket. This is not my court. So I ran back to the Spread Eagle, and the fella had just left and left his name and address so I could get in touch with him. And it was about -10. I thought, well, you get one or two things here. You can either freeze to death, you can knock your mum and dad up, they won't be very happy, but at least you'll see the morning after. So I knocked him up, and it's always one knock with me, Dad. He just opens the curtains and, oh, it's him again. What have you done with your key? I said, oh, it's a long story. But when I got up and looked at the coal, in the coal white today, it was green and purple, it was nothing like red and blue. I've done a few things at work. Joe here, my boss, simple request, asked me to close the window. So I thought, right, I'll close this window now. So I gets up on the desk and starts stretching and closes the window, and then I went round and did the same to the other window, and the desk's collapsing. So all of a sudden I knew it was going to fall, so I jumped clear. The desk broke in two, the main leg had gone, his computer were on the floor, keyboard were on the floor, his pot had smashed on the wall, and when I looked up I didn't need to get on desk, I could do it from a standing position. Cricket's been a big part of my life. I went to Lords this year, and Lords, it's a funny place, is Lords. It's sticklers for rules, it doesn't seem to matter who you are. And Sebastian Coe this year apparently went up for a ticket that had been left by the England cricket team, and he went to the Grace Gate. And he said, what's your name? He said, well, I'm Lord Sebastian Coe. And he says, oh, nobody by that name, mate, you'll have to go round to North Gate. He said, well, look, recognise who I am. I'm doing all this Olympics, and I'm 800 metre champion, 1500 metres and mile champion. And Gay fella says, well, if you've done all that, it won't take you long to the North Gate. Thornton Cricket Club are on this table here. I played with Thornton for quite a while, and I turned up this match at Prestwich, and I had a huge carbuncle on my nose. I had to fight Jill Lucas off all week because she wanted to Lancet. And I turned up to Thornton, oh, it was big, this carbuncle. And I'm batting at the end of the innings with my good friend Ian Howarth. And we're batting near the end of the innings, and we're throwing the bat. It comes to the last ball of the innings. And I managed to hit this four off last ball. And and Ian comes down the wicket to try and congratulate me. And this idiotic fielder obviously didn't know about last ball, gets over the ball, throws it. It bounced once and hit me smack on the forehead. And I'm seeing stars on the ground. And their captain leant over me and says, bloody hell, mate, it's made a mess of your nose, hasn't it? And then I went on tour with him and said, lost. And I soon found out that cricket's just something to do during the day. And then you wait for the night time. Third night, oh, I must have been perfect to take on tour. Somebody even persuaded me to take a pair of wellies to the local disco. You know, so naive. Anyway, it comes to 12 o'clock. I said, right, well, enough now. Go out with the club. First left. Hotel 500 yard down the road. 3 of us. 40 minutes ago, I'm still looking for this hotel. I said, it's a bloody long 500 yards, this, isn't it, John? He says, I think we're lost. I says, well, we can't be, it's a straight road. What do you think, Keith? Oh, I'm not getting involved. 2 hours later, 2 o'clock in the morning, we find ourselves on a country lane in Gloucester. A dark country lane, and by now I'm getting a bit frightened, you know. And I sees this car in the distance. I thought, taxi. So I'm in the middle of the lane, flagging what I thought was this taxi down. And it was 2 cop cars. What are you 3 doing? We're staying in Fleece Hotel and we've got lost. He says, right, you 2, get in with me and your mate, get in with my mate, we'll give you a lift back, we've gone 6 miles out of our way. Of course, idiot me hadn't finished, asked the copper if he wanted a fare for a taxi. I got told in no uncertain terms to get in the pub before he nicked me. The loonies I've known for quite some time, and I knew him through Jimmy Wilde and his daughter's here tonight, Jenny. And he used to be incredible, Jimmy, with poems. If you give him 10 points about yourself, he'd do your poem and it'd take him about 5 minutes. And I've picked one tonight to read out, and I'm sure Gary and Stuart will like this because it's the trial of Lobsters Claw. And when he did these poems for women, they were full of charm and wit and very charming, but when he did it for a guy, it sounded a bit more like this. And it's all because I went on my first Wembley trip, and I come to the second Wembley trip, and I said I weren't going. So that's what's it about, me not paying me money for the second trip. The wagon inn was packed out as the loonies crowded in. The trial of evil Lobster's Claw was shortly to begin. Judge Unlucky took the chair, a-banging with his gavel. What's the problem, Corris? Lobster's Claw won't travel. We'll punish him, Unlucky said. How dare he be ungrateful? We took him and looked after him. I find his manner hateful. There's no escape, there's no excuse. He looked towards the jury. Guilty, growled the foreman, and they glared at Claw in fury. That's it then, said the landlord. We'll boil him in the cellar. But boiling is too good for him. He's a really nasty fella. So Clyde and Jackal seized him and dragged him from the room. Across the road the big tree stood, awaiting Lobster's doom. Mind and nail the scaffold up, as Kendo fixed the rope. Straw bale set the trapdoor, greasing it with soap. Terrible Turk produced a hood which Freddy painted black. Katie and Webby tied the lobster's claws behind his back. But who will push the lever? It's a rotten job to do. It doesn't bother me. I'll stretch his neck, said Woo. And so they sang Jerusalem as Claw's life ebbed away. If he'd have coughed up his deposits, he'd be alive today. He asked for that, said Silent, and Shafter said quite right. He should have paid his money instead of being tied. And so they traipsed off inside, having finished off the traitor, and resumed their normal habits. Another end, please, waiter. Just about 5 minutes into it, Jenny. Yeah, cool. Right, we're in this little spot now. I got the toilet seat award when I went on my first Blackpool trip by singing this record, and I know he's in trouble, but I can't do any more now, so I'm still going to be doing Rigsby. It's called Copacabana, and it was like this. Her name was Lola, she was a showgirl, with yellow feathers in her hair, and skirt cut down so that she would meringue and do the cha-cha. And while she tried to be a star, Tony always turned bar. Across the tented floor, they worked from 9 till 4. They were young, they had each other, who could ask for more. The cover, no, they're He wore a diamond. He was escorted to his chair. He saw all the dancing there, and when she finished, he called her over. But Rico went a bit too far, so he sailed across the bar, and then the punches flew, and chairs were smashed in two. There was blood and a gunshot, good just do. Shot at the cover. Cover Cabana. The artist spot on the banner. At the cover Cabana. Music and passion were always the fashion at the cover. She lost over. Pull us up. About 30 seconds could be so long. No deaf people that used to read my lips when I'm singing. You look mesmerised, that's here. Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl. But that was 40 years ago when they used to have a show. Now it's a disco, but not for Lola. Still in the dress she used to wear, faded feathers in her hair. She sits for soaring fat and drinks herself half wine. She's lost her youth, she's lost her Tony. Now she's lost her mind at the cover. Cover Cabana, the hottest spot of the Nevada. At the Cover Cabana. Music and passion were always the fashion of the Cobra. Don't fall in love. Don't fall in love.
Well done, John. Well done, Mr. John.
If you want to come and sing anybody, just come up here, ask the guys. They'll put what they've got on for you. Okay, Hong Kong.